And hello there, my name is Strike Alpha, and today I'm going to be friend Jobruce's game. He is going to be on the red team playing Israel with a Timo, Malzahar, Evelyn, and Nami. They are going to be playing against a Mundo, LeBlanc, Shyvana, Thresh, and Callista. It's been a long time since I've seen someone play Callista. That's how bad that is. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into these team composition and see what we should probably expect from either team. Starting off with blue team, I fully expect that we're going to be looking more for the mid phase, the mid phase of the match, before they start to really show their team composition and how it actually works together. They have a really strong team fighting group running Mundo, Shyvana, and Thresh in the front line, or Thresh is kind of in the mid line, one of those two. Callista is going to have a lot of walls in front of her, making sure she's able to kite pretty safely, and LeBlanc is pretty much going to be able to kind of maneuver around any walls that might be present. I like to call that type of composition a fortress composition, just because of the safety for the ADC and the capacity to have defined lines in terms of team fighting situations. So we'll see whether or not that fortress is going to be good. It looks like Timo might be getting ready to have a bad time. He runs up top. He flashes. I don't know if it was a good thing to flash like that, but he is able to get out with a very minimal amount of damage done to him. But yeah, so the blue team is going to be running a fortress composition. Meanwhile, the red team is kind of running a more it's like I want to call it a pursuit comp. A pursuit composition is a team comp that essentially has the capacity to start team fights, and once that team fight, oh, this is looking bad. Oh, and Thresh misses. Everyone is missing. Okay, Nami might make it out. She unfortunately is going to get hit with that last hook from Thresh, and first blood is going to go down to Thresh. But both Callista and Thresh are not really doing that great right now. I'm going to say Ezreal definitely has a lot more HP than both Callista and Thresh. He gets the kill on Thresh. Ezreal's waiting to try and get a attack off, and he is able to get that attack off. He goes ahead and gets essentially a double kill in bot before the 3-minute mark. Definitely really good for him starting off this game. But yeah, as I was saying, red team is more of a pursuit comp where they'll start a team fight, and once they start the team fight, they will pretty much just keep moving forward, trying to take out as many people as they possibly can. If people start to split off from that fight, they'll be more inclined to just kind of let them go, because in the end, if they're focused on objectives, that is essentially what they're going to get with a team fight. They will get objectives if they are able to actually match the strength of the enemy team. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about a few of these matchups. In the top lane, you got Mundo and Timo. I mean, a lot of people don't necessarily like Timo, but personally, I kind of like him. I like the fact that he's able to kind of make people worry about their positioning. That being said, it is not a good matchup for Mundo in the least bit. Oh, and LeBlanc throwing down a few attacks on Malzahar. She should actually be able to get this kill. If she was able to get one more spell, she is able to get that spell off, and Ignite is able to get that last hit for the LeBlanc. But yeah, Mundo being a direct damage champion versus Timo, a ranged damage champion. Definitely not a good look for Mundo. He's going to need some help from either LeBlanc roaming as an assassin, or as Shyvana coming through, forcing him into a bad, or forcing the Timo into a bad position where he has to fight both Mundo and Shyvana at the same time. And also I just noticed that Ezreal was able to get that Tear of the Goddess within 3 minutes. Definitely not a good start for the bot lane of blue team, just because most of the time you get a little bit of a breather in terms of Ezreal's damage output while he's trying to buy that initial tier. Now that he has it, and he has it so early, you can expect him to start building damage very soon. Not really sure if this is a good move on the... Well, Ezreal, or I mean, Kalista was able to get out pretty easily thanks to the Thresh, and Shyvana was there for the Evelynn counter gank. But I'm going to say this, red team is definitely kind of pushing it a little bit. Now Nami's going to get caught out a little bit. She lands that bubble on Thresh, but Kalista's going to go ahead and rend and get that kill on the support. Like I said, even though Ezreal did start with that tier, he probably doesn't have the amount of damage that Nami kind of expects. In that situation with normal ADCs, they might have bought possibly a pickaxe, maybe 2 long swords. The damage increase was going to be pretty apparent pretty quickly, but not in this situation. It's going to take some time, and I think Nami might have pushed the envelope a little too far there. Anyway, in terms of the top lane matchup too, though, as long as Teemo is able to keep getting CS and possibly keeping Mundo away from getting his own CS, as long as he's able to do that, it should be a pretty smooth matchup for the Teemo. Alright, so going on to the next matchup, we have Shyvana and Evelynn. Both of those two can be pretty terrifying, especially once Evelynn gets her stealth and Shyvana gets her ult. Oh, and here we go. It looks like Nami got caught out again. She goes ahead, gets landed with the death sentence from Thresh, and that will be a dead fish. There will be some sushi on the menu as Kalista gets her second kill of this match. So anyway, essentially it's going to come down to who is going to be able to get to their keystone ability the fastest, whether Shyvana's going to be able to get her ult or Evelynn's going to be able to get her stealth. And from there is going to be based off who's able to impact the game the best. A lot of people think that jungling, they don't necessarily think of the impact that they might have on other lanes. And in this situation with both junglers actually waiting until level 6, this is perfectly fine. There are some situations where that isn't necessarily great, waiting that long to make an impact on the game. But in this situation, because both of the junglers are the same type of jungler, it should be perfectly fine for the most part. That being said, I completely predict that Shyvana should be able to have a bigger impact, especially considering right now she is level 6 and the bubble lands from the Nami. Kalista losing 50% of her health within a quick combo from the Ezreal and from the Nami. But yeah, I expect Shyvana to be able to do more, but we will see as now both of them are level 6. We'll see who is able to start to impact this game the most. I'm going to say in terms of targets, it looks like Evelynn should be going for LeBlanc and Shyvana should be going for Teemo. And here we go. We got this gank coming in from Evelynn. And Evelynn's right there. She's able to land the charm. Malzahar follows up with that ult, and that is the end of LeBlanc. We say smooth combo by the two of them, getting that first kill for the Malzahar. Alright, the next matchup, we got Malzahar and LeBlanc. LeBlanc is probably going to be in a better situation as she was able to get the first kill on this Malzahar. However, thanks to the gank from Evelynn, there is a little bit of an equalizing situation in this matchup. And here comes the Thresh, and Shyvana's coming through in bot. Meanwhile, Nami actually does get the kill on Kalista. We're saying not a great gank In that situation, having your ADC getting taken out by the support. Remember, guys, even if your support gets that kill over you, keep in mind that when they get fed, you're more likely to get fed too. Like, I'm being completely serious. Think about it. Just think about it. But anyway, Ezreal is going to be able to stay in lane for a little while longer as a result of Nami being the brunt, or taking the brunt of the damage from that gank. He's going to go ahead and recall, and he should probably be able to go ahead and get that Manamura. Or maybe he won't, but it looks like Malzahar and Evelyn are going to go ahead and get one more kill off on this LeBlanc. At this point, LeBlanc probably should start thinking about her roam. Quite a bit of pushing coming in from this Teemo, so she should be able to go ahead and get that gank off. Again, going back to that matchup, that is probably what I assumed was going to happen. Oh, and the bubble. Not really sure why Shyvana ulted. She might regret this. Although it looks like she is able to retreat fast enough from the Nami and Malzahar. But yeah, before level 6, the lane was essentially LeBlanc's. After level 6, it's going to be Malzahar. Malzahar's currently gone 2-0 since hitting level 6. I'm going to say that is thanks in part to the Evelyn ganking. However, you still have to count it as what it is. That being said, I think that LeBlanc should probably start thinking of, or considering roaming. And if she does, she might be able to make up a little bit of the ground she might have lost against Malzahar. Finally, this matchup in bot, we got, okay, here comes Evelyn. I think she might be a little too far from, oh, and she misses the spike. Oh well, I'll say maybe next time. But anyway, Ezreal and Nami versus Kalista and Thresh. Kalista and Thresh are pretty standard bot lane. So is kind of Ezreal and Nami as well. So we got, in this current meta, we actually have a normal looking, well, in my opinion, because I'm an ADC main, a normal looking lane. That said, with Kalista being sustain damage and Thresh being kill, or a kill-based support, and Nami being a sustain, and oh, and here comes the ult from Nami, throwing down, got the bubble landed on Thresh. It looks like this should be the end of Thresh. Ezreal runs around that box, but he's not going to be able to catch up to the Thresh as Kalista immediately recalls him. Meanwhile, we got in mid, Shyvana ulting in. It burns the Malzahar flash, but she's not going to get much more else out of that. But yeah, with it being sustain kill versus poke and kind of sustain, I think I have to give the advantage to Ezreal and Nami. However, we are going to have to see how this is playing out. Like, both of those guys are pretty much even right now. With Ezreal with a slight advantage over Kalista right now, 400 gold, probably most likely thanks to the double kill at the start of this game. Meanwhile, up top, we got Teemo and Mundo going at each other. Mundo finally deciding to ult, but I don't know if it might have been too late. Although it doesn't really look like it was too late. That healing is pretty strong at lower levels. I say Teemo should probably look to invest in Liandry's Torment to stop that healing. Oh wait, no, that's not Liandry. Liandry's will do more damage, but Morellonomicon is going to be an item that stops that healing. You should probably start looking to invest in building that. Not really 100% sure why he built Frozen Mallet, but I guess it does make sense. Much easier for Teemo to stick to somebody if they are slowed. But yeah, if Shyvana is able to come down, as we've seen in the past, she should... Oh, and we got another ult from the Nami. This is definitely showing to be pretty bad for the red team this time, as Ezreal takes all the spears and gets rended to death. Meanwhile, Nami's trying to run from the Thresh. She just got flayed back. Callista's closing in. She's ready to start throwing spears. She throws that spear, gets that kill. She's currently up 4-2-2. But yeah, when Ezreal is able to poke, it's going to work out way better for the red team. However, if Thresh lands the death sentence, especially in a situation like we just saw, that should pretty much be it. And it looks like red team is going to get that first turret. And it looks like that is the end of LeBlanc. Gets hit with that Malzahar ultimate. You say hit with the entire combo, and she's unable to get out of that one. Even though her clone essentially takes off while the main is suppressed. It's kind of interesting to see that. But anyway, and here comes Evelyn. And she misses the spike. I don't think she's going to be able to get anything off. And Thresh is going to be able to make it away. Callista was considering backing, but it looks like she's going to go ahead and stop. Oh, and here comes Evelyn. Again, Nami hits that wave, and it looks like that's going to be the end of that. Although Evelyn is not necessarily done. Looks like she is trying to figure out where her best situation is going to be, and it looks like it's going to be going after this Callista. I don't believe she landed it. That's why the camera switched out. So, it's all good. But it looks like the blue team is down, ready to fight. Say Nami throwing the tidal wave down, lands it on several members of the blue team, but it looks like she might be stuck. And it looks like Callista is going to get that kill on Nami. LeBlanc gets the kill on Evelyn, and Shyvana gets the kill on Ezreal. It should be smooth sailing for the blue team in terms of taking that Cloud Dragon, and they already took that turret and bot, so yeah, now is going to be a good time for these guys to go ahead and get that first I guess I'd call it neutral objective of the game. I'm saying it looks like they're still pushing in top a little bit. Malzahar and Teemo. Blue team's gonna look like they're gonna recall to try and help out this top lane. Callista is on her way up. However, we don't know if that necessarily is gonna mean anything. At this point, these guys should probably start running now, as they've lost sight of essentially the entire blue team. So, even through all of that that's just happened so far, looks like the game is essentially tied up. Blue team is down essentially 300 gold, but they currently have 2 towers. And it looks like the blue team is going to be leading in dragons right now. They have this Cloud Dragon. Now that Cloud Dragon does not actually release the passive. And Teemo's going after Callista. Thresh thought he was going to try and pick him off. But this is the end of Teemo. But yeah, now that they have removed the whole you're in combat, this passive doesn't work anymore aspect of the Cloud Dragon to just give you flat out move speed, is definitely going to be way more useful for the blue team in terms of getting into position and being able to adapt to whatever the blue team decides to, or the red team decides to try and pull later on in this game. It helps LeBlanc get in position to assassinate that backline, and it also helps Thresh and Shyvana and Mundo get into better positions to try and protect both their carries. Looks like a bad situation for Shyvana. She was in the pit, and now everyone's kind of going in on her. Malzahar throws down that ult, and it looks like she might make it out, but that was only temporary. Meanwhile, LeBlanc showing why she still can blow people up. Takes down... Teemo stays behind. Callista is trying to fight him, but she was blinded. It might not be a great move, and it looks like LeBlanc goes ahead and bursts down to Teemo. And it looks like... Who got that? Oh, it looks like LeBlanc actually got the Eye of the Herald. Meanwhile, Mundo's fighting off both Malzahar and Nami at the same time. Ezreal coming in trying to help, but this might be too little too late to get that kill on Mundo as he's running away at full speed. Malefic Vision goes down on Mundo, but he's going to just run out of the way. say pretty decent team fight there from both sides. However, it looks like the blue team is gonna actually be behind at this point. And here comes Shyvana. She's going ahead and ulting through. This looks like this might be a dead Ezreal at this point. The bubble goes down on Nami, or bubble goes down on Shyvana, but Nami is a little too late to save Ezreal. Meanwhile, she's trying to run. I don't know why she's running away from her help, but she is gonna go down now. And now Teemo is here to help, trying to help Malzahar survive this Mundo, but this looks like it's the end of Mundo, and it is the end of Teemo as Shyvana goes ahead, wins her fight with him as well. Oh, and here comes the Rift Herald. He comes through, gets ready to tackle this tower, and it's the end of that one. Let's see how many towers blue team is going to be able to take with this extra member. Tackle those down. Looks quite a bit of damage on this turret. It's down to 10%, and it looks like they're going to be taking 2 towers before they let him go ahead and they run out. So definitely helpful for the blue team. Definitely able to take advantage of that massive buff for these guys. They were up maybe 300 or 400 gold before, but now they are definitely up around 3K, a little bit less than 3K, but still, nonetheless, it is 3K. Oh, okay, maybe I might have miscounted. Maybe it might be closer to 4. But it looks like Thresh is not going to make it out. Meanwhile, LeBlanc is trying to go after Nami. She should be able to get that. Although it looks like that is the end of LeBlanc. Meanwhile, Teemo is going to get caught out with the death sentence. The box goes down for Thresh. Teemo flashes the wall. He's going after Kalista. It should be the end for her. I'm going to say Thresh turns around, tries to stop Teemo. Unfortunately, he dies, and Ezreal just arcane shifts ahead to get that last blow on Kalista. It's a red team doing their part to try and make up for that little bit of a deficit that they had from that previous team fight. Meanwhile, Shyvana is trying to decide whether or not she wants to go in. Looks like she's going to back off, considering she'd be fighting 4 people at once under a less than half HP tower. So Teemo is still considering pushing, but it looks like he should start to back off as LeBlanc and the rest of the blue team are starting to spawn. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Mundo is trying his best to push, but he's going to be pushing against Malzahar, who has quite a bit of potential to kill or take down Mundo, especially considering his first item, or one of his first items, was Morellonomicon. So once he gets him down to that 50 HP, that is pretty much a wrap for Mundo. But he has to get him there first. So we'll see. I think at this point we can say that we are in the mid game, so blue team probably should start moving towards working together. It looks like they actually are planning that. Like the main core of blue team is going to be in mid. Meanwhile, LeBlanc is going to be trying to sneak around the side, trying to fight targets or find targets. So good job on those guys recognizing that they are at that phase of the game. That being said, it looks like blue team is going to be moving for this Ocean Drake. That will be the 3rd dragon of this game. The next dragon will be another Ocean Drake. So yeah, that's starting to definitely show itself for the blue team as they move forward. They've had move speed, but now they're starting to get healed. And the more healing they get in terms of dealing with these pokes from the red team, the better off they are going to be. That said, it looks like we got a little bit of a chase coming in from the red team. Kind of push the blue team off to the side. Now red team is trying to go ahead and rush down this inner mid tower. I don't think they're necessarily going to be able to do it. Nami throws the tidal wave down. The hook goes around Nami essentially. And now Shyvana dives in, but that wasn't her best move as she immediately gets bursted down by the Evelynn and the rest of the red team. He said that's going to be a quick tower for the red team. They might consider pushing, but it also looks like there are some pings and some calls for trying to go ahead and get Baron. Ezreal not necessarily focusing on that. He might get picked off. Good part on the Nami for turning around and kind of speeding him up in that situation. I'm going to say if the red team's going to... and yeah. I'm going to say it looks like Nami kind of ratted on Teemo a little bit. As the wave bounced off of him into the LeBlanc, she knew what was going on. So meanwhile, in that jungle, it looks like Mundo is starting to get hit with Executioner's calling procs coming from Ezreal. The minions tried to fight Baron, but no. Yeah, Mundo is starting to get hit with Executioner's calling procs. So his healing potential is going to be limited. He's still doing pretty good as a tank. He does have quite a bit of armor, a little bit of MR as well. So he should be fine moving forward for at least until Ezreal decides to buy a Last Whisper. Oh, no, he does. He just bought a Mortal Reminder. So that'll be interesting to see how well Mundo's going to be able to do now that he... essentially is being countered in terms of like his ult and what it's capable of doing. Oh, and bot, looks like we have Teemo pushing that out pretty hard. No one looks like they're in a position to respond to him though. So this might not be a great sign for the blue team. Oh, and oh man, LeBlanc. LeBlanc goes ahead, goes through a single combo, gets that kill. And now, Shyvana, not really sure why she ulted back in, but Ezreal's going to get caught by the death sentence. And he arcane shifts out of the way, gets out of that bad situation. Meanwhile, he is in a one-on-one fight with Ezreal, but Malzahar's like, nah, I want a piece of this. And he gets the last hit on Kalista. So this game is getting pretty animated right now. Red team is down 2 kills. However, they are going to be up 2k gold right now. So good job on their part for bringing that game back. It looked like blue team was in a prime position to go ahead and snowball out of control, but they managed to kind of mitigate that probability the best they possibly could. For both teams, it looks like... let's see, what's the next dragon? The next dragon is Ocean. Red team is probably going to need to get that. You don't want a 4-dragon team potentially trying to play for Elder Dragon. And in this situation, I think I would definitely be aiming towards trying to get that objective. Which also means that they have more time to potentially get a gold lead. So, Red team needs to try to get that objective. Looks like blue team is going to be setting up for this Baron. Looks like both teams, in all honesty, are setting up for the Baron. Although Teemo gets stunned out, he gets hit by Thresh, and that is the end of Teemo. I'm going to say Malzahar's trying to run for his life, but I don't think it's going to turn out so well. He throws down the ult on Shyvana and actually is able to help Ezreal secure that kill on her. However, now things are kind of getting a little hectic. LeBlanc goes ahead, she jumps in. Unfortunately, it's going to be the clone that takes the brunt of all of that damage. Meanwhile, Mundo is going to get that kill on Evelyn as she tries to run away. And the ult from Ezreal, no one goes down, unfortunately, for him. Meanwhile, Nami's going to try and bubble her way to victory. No kill's going to go down. LeBlanc's going to get back into that fight. She's going to burst down this Nami. And Mundo is chasing after Ezreal. Ezreal can't really do much here. Although Malzahar is throwing down quite a bit of damage, and it is going to be enough to finally knock down that massive tank. I'm saying, because he definitely didn't look like he was going down anytime soon. Meanwhile, it looks like blue team's going to need to move quick to stop that minion wave from taking all the, doing a significant amount of damage to that turret. Say it looks like Teemo is also going to be setting up for the dragon, and red team looks like they should be able to get it. Malzahar and Timo are both going after this dragon. Meanwhile, I'm not really sure where LeBlanc is. Oh, LeBlanc flashes in and she gets the dragon. That has to hurt the red team just a little bit. Yeah. And now that the next dragon is going to be Elder Dragon, they are going to have to make sure they do everything in their power to prevent the blue team from getting that next dragon. We say the only counter for this at this point would be to consider getting Baron, but red team is going to need another team fight in order to actually make that a reality. Looks like Callista gets caught out by the Evelyn, and good ult by the Evelyn. She gets out of the way of the LeBlanc. She could have been immediately burst down, but she is able to get out. Meanwhile, Timo is going to go ahead and try and farm up the blue team jungle. He is going to be able to get out of there safely. But Mundo is definitely pushing up top. And here comes Malzahar trying to TP up top to stop this. Mundo Nami taking all of the hits for Malzahar to ensure that he is able to actually get up there. So good job on the support for making sure that this teleport went off. However, it also does look like Israel is running for his life. They might be a little stuck. Meanwhile, Malzahar throws down his ult. Evelyn able to get the kill on this LeBlanc. Looks like the blue team might be getting ready to fall back into retreat. Nami taking a lot of spears right now. I don't know if she's necessarily going to be able to make it out of this situation. But it does look like that happens. Meanwhile, Timo just walks up to the blue team, taking all the damage. Bubble finally lands from Nami, but it's too late. I don't know why he decided to start the fight the way he did. But the tidal wave comes out of Nami. Now it looks like Evelyn's trying to run for her life. She goes ahead, throws her ult, gets out of that situation. Meanwhile, Malzahar is going after Callista. Everyone left the ADC behind, and that is going to be the end of her. Meanwhile, Nami is trying to fight off the Shyvana, but she came out just a little too quick. Evelyn not able to get in position, and as a result, Nami is going to go down. Now, even with all of that excitement, all of those team fights, red team is still ahead by 2 gold, despite their lack of neutral objective control, at least in this part of the game. Well, no, their lack of neutral objective control outright. They're still doing really well, especially their Malzahar and their Israel, both the carries, able to do quite a bit of work. Like I said, when these guys start a fight and they keep moving forward, that's when you know things are about to go bad for the blue team, and it's definitely been like that a few times. Meanwhile, it looks like Mundo and Shyvana don't know that they were sitting on a ward. Now, red team is quite aware of those guys being up there, and they should be reacting appropriately to that. Okay, and now that I take a quick little look at the current builds, it looks like Israel is definitely built to kind of cut through Mundo really easily. Meanwhile, Malzahar has to flash to get over the wall to stop the Shyvana ult, but Shyvana's taking quite a bit of damage. The redemption comes down, but LeBlanc doesn't care. She gets the kill on Israel. Malzahar gets that follow-up kill on LeBlanc. Fresh getting the kill on Nami. Quite a bit of fight going on here, and it looks like Callista gets the kill on Timo, and Malzahar is left. He's the last team. He is going to be, unfortunately, unable to get a kill, and we got a 5-0 ace. Wait, 5-1 ace for the blue team. They're going to go ahead and take down this Baron pretty quick. And now red team has to worry about whether or not they have a good enough defensive comp to wait out this Baron. Say, blue team's been doing pretty good in terms of minion management. And so typically whenever a team fight might possibly occur, the blue team has had a wave of minions always pushing forward. So it's definitely looking like things are starting to tilt back in the blue team's favor, especially considering they are currently up 2.5k gold with 4 dragons. The next dragon, that Elder Dragon, is up within a minute. And say red team absolutely has to contest at this point. You don't need a team of super fast assassins who can heal through the poke that's being distributed by Malzahar and Ezreal, and every now and again Teemo. But you don't want to be put in that type of situation. So in terms of that, red team is probably going to need to get a pick or two really soon. Looks like this is going to be the end of Nami though. And so that death sentence goes ahead and lands. Meanwhile, Teemo should be able to get this kill on Callista. And say, yeah, I was thinking that red team needed a pick on blue team, but unfortunately it looks like red team's going to be the first one to get picked off in that exchange of some essential bot lane players. But it looks like red team is actually going to go ahead and take this Elder Dragon, although there are a lot of red team members nearby. Malzahar throwing down the ult on Shyvana. And say Evelyn able to get that Elder Dragon. Definitely, like I said, helping out the red team as stops a massive advantage from occurring on behalf of the blue team, and also gives them a chance to try and potentially win more and more team fights going forward, or at least for the next few minutes. Okay, Mundo and Teemo are going at it. Looks like Mundo is doing way more damage than Teemo's doing. Here comes the tidal wave by Nami. The bubble goes ahead and lands, but Mundo is at full health after having to fight this Teemo. Definitely interesting situations. Looks like Malzahar is going to get burst down. Oh, nope, he's able to actually make it out, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it out now, as LeBlanc is able to use a barrier to kind of get out of that situation. Oh, and Evelyn goes through and smites the LeBlanc camp. I'm saying getting a lot of gold, not necessarily any buffs, but she's definitely showing why people should be afraid of that character. Meanwhile, we got a bubble coming in from Nami and the ult coming in from Callista. This looks like this might be the end of the red team, at least for a second, as Nami goes down to the Thresh after running into wall, and Shyvana stays on top of Ezreal to get that kill as well. So yeah, this looks like the end of that mid inhib tower. Meanwhile, Shyvana's going to go ahead and chase after Teemo a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to stop that inhib from going down. Like at this point, this is the end of Shyvana. I was about to say at this point, blue team should probably back out, because I don't think that they can necessarily deal with all these guys up front. And it looks like I might have been a little right on that, as a quick burst of Shyvana definitely let the blue team know that they may have overstayed their welcome. And say that's it though. Red team is down only 3k gold in all of this. They are down significantly in kills, almost double digits. However, they are doing their best to kind of keep up in terms of CS. It really doesn't help that the blue team has been kind of behind in CS in essentially most situations. It also doesn't help that this is essentially a late game. So at this point, those differences in terms of money are starting to matter less and less. Blue team able to get to later game or late game pretty calmly, and red team fighting their way to it. We'll see which person's or which team's will is stronger though. Malzahar goes ahead, throws down another. Oh, and bubble lands on Mundo. We got a fight going on here. Just a Callista throwing down spears on this Evelyn. She should be able to get out of. Nope, she was able to get out of it, but now Callista's going to go ahead and land that last spear on Evelyn. Meanwhile, Thresh is trying to get the kill for Callista. He is going to be successful in that situation. Meanwhile, Shyvana gets caught by the Malzahar ult. She's going to unfortunately go down. And it looks like Thresh and Nami are going to be in a fist fight, but it's not going to matter because Malzahar is going to go down. And now Teemo actually was able to get the kill on essentially everyone. I think everyone forgot about Teemo. That's going to be a 5-3 ace for the red team. I didn't think that the little munchkin was actually going to be able to pull it off. That's really impressive on Teemo's part. Looking at his build, I can see how that probably happened. He currently has Rage Blade, Blade of the Ruin King, Frozen Mallet, and Runan's Hurricane. Definitely items that are super helpful for fighting down tanks and shipping down tanks. Not to mention, it kept the blue team together pretty significantly in terms of that last team fight, to the point where one ability could hit multiple people at once. You say good playstyle for Teemo's, really good awareness or situational awareness for that Teemo as well. So good stuff. But yeah, that being said, though, again, red team is up in CS except everywhere except for jungle, or at least semi-close. Yeah, actually super close, or not all that close. Anyway, Evelyn quickly burst down that Callista. She didn't really have all that much of a chance, but yeah. So, like I said, every other lane but bot and mid. Oh, every other lane but bot and jungle. And Shyvana goes ahead and ults through. I'm not really sure what she was planning on doing. She jumps into a crowd of 5, immediately gets attacked and bursts down. Mundo trying to break off and give these guys a little bit of a chance to live. However, Ezreal is going to follow up and get that kill on him. Mundo trying to ult his way out of a bad situation, but he's not going to be able to do so. And now it looks like red team is running down top, ready to try and get break this blue team base open. It's only a matter of whether or not, well, so much for that combo. Looks like the first base tower is going to go down for the red team, and it looks like the first inhib is going to go down as well. I think the red team is considering pushing. However, I think they should probably back off. But hey, if Teemo can go ahead and chase down Callista and get the kill like that, that should be good enough. Looks like LeBlanc tried to go in as fast as she possibly could, and unfortunately she goes down pretty quick. That being said, it looks like the red team is gonna be able to take the victory in this matchup. So, that being said, it looks like the, if I gotta give, well, let's just talk about the teams in general. Looks like Malzahar and Teemo were the main people kind of throwing out all the damage. Can't necessarily write off Ezreal though, because he did build to be an essential tank shredder that was super useful against the Mundo and Shyvana later on. Able to get the red team the kills that they needed during that last team fight. Like I said, red team was definitely looking to kind of have someone make a mistake and then proceed to chase after the rest of the team. When people break off, some people might not necessarily break off, but when they do, you can count on that person not making it out either. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and sign off. Want to thank my friend Jobruce one more time for allowing me to cast his game. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Again, my name is Strike Alpha with Horizon Line Gaming. And again, we will see you next time.